Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So thank you very much for joining us today. We'd like to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyamsundar, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Bonitai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees, so that we continue with the Bhagavad Gita, study of Bhagavad Gita, chapter by chapter, and we're on chapter number 11, which is entitled The Virat Rup, or Universal Form. Very interesting chapter. So let's go through it. Let's do a summary first. The Sanskrit word rupa, Virat Rup, that's the name of the chapter, Virat Rup. Rup means form. One of the biggest theological debates is whether God has a personal or an impersonal form. Right? Does he have is he in the form of a person? Does he have a form? Or is he formless? Is he just some light? Some argue that accepting a personal form of God amounts to projecting our qualities onto him or limiting him. So if we say God has a form, are we limiting him? Krishna, however, confirms in numerous passages of the Bhagavad Gita that he manifests in many ways, both impersonally and personally. Sorry. He also categorically states that the two-handed form, his two-handed form, is the original form. Now, some people think that God is made in our image. Actually, we are made in God's image. The two-handed form is the original form. And it's also the basis of the impersonal. What does that mean? Just like the sunshine comes from the sun, the impersonal form of the Lord comes from his personal form. In this chapter, after Krishna displays his Vishwarup, the universal form, he reverts back to his two-handed form, explaining the significance of this form. So there's many themes in this chapter. First, Arjuna asks Krishna to see his universal form. Secondly, Krishna shows his universal form to Arjuna. This actually bewilders Arjuna. It shocks him. It scares him. And then Krishna explains that Arjuna simply has to act as his instrument, and Arjuna asks for forgiveness because he realizes that this is God. Krishna goes back to his two-handed form, original form, stating that this can only be seen by pure devotional service. So this is a basic summary in different themes. So let's go into the chapter now. Who'd like to read the first set of verses?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, go for it. Thank you.
Okay, text 1. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Arjuna makes a humble request from the Lord to show his universal form. He requests in a humble mood and also does not request for material things. If we notice, he doesn't ask him for supremacy of this world or that world. He wants to know more about God. One may ask why he makes such a request. Why would he ask to see the universal form? He's heard about it because when Krishna went to Hastinapur to act as the peace messenger, at that time, the situation, the circumstances happened that Krishna showed his universal form to some of the Kuru Kaurav leaders like Bhishma, and others, Dronacharya. So Arjuna had heard about it. Now, why would he ask? Since he can see Krishna anyway, and he's completely satisfied. As confirmed in chapter 10, if we remember, he said that I completely accept you as the Supreme Lord, as do all the sages in chapter 10. So clearly, Arjuna doesn't have any personal agenda in seeing the universal form, but he requests the vision for other reasons. He wants to prove without doubt Krishna's position as the source of everything. He wants to set a standard for anyone in the future who claim to be God to show similar opulence. So there are many people who claim to be God. They do some magic trick and suddenly they're God. Okay, show us your universal form. Unfortunately, our modern world is nevertheless plagued with so-called incarnations and God-men claiming to be the latest saviors of society by dint of the fact that they have mustered up some popularity or mastered a few magic tricks. So lesson number 44, we should not accept just anyone as God. There are many indications of a genuine incarnation. For example, he's mentioned in the scriptures. They perform amazing activities. They're accepted by the acharyas and the bhaktas. They have special markings. So there are many ways to distinguish who is God and who is not God. And one of them is show us your universal form if you claim to be God. So God should not be taken lightly or cheaply. Nowadays, a lot of people worship unauthorized forms of God. They're not really God. They're not predicted in the scriptures. They don't have the markings. They do some easy magic tricks and we become fooled by it. So let's not become fooled. Oh yes, sorry, I've got a little bit more here. They're predicted in the scriptures, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was predicted in the Padma Purana. I shall take birth as a son of Sachi, assuming a golden form in a beautiful place on the bank of the Bhagirati Ganga, on the earth in the first part of Kali Yuga. He performs extraordinary activities like lifting up Govardhan Hill with his left hand middle finger. He gives divine knowledge like Bhagavad Gita. He shows his Virat Roop. He has a particular mission. He has bodily signs on his palms and his soles. These are the markings of Krishna on the sole of his feet. And on his hands, he also has different markings. And Krishna is regarded to be the source of all the avatars, known as avatars. That gives a brief idea of how to distinguish the real incarnations. Okay, so who'd like to read the next section? Perhaps somebody who hasn't had a chance to read in previous weeks. Okay, Lokeshwar, go for it.
Okay. Text 5. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine, and multicolored forms." Text 6. O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini, Kumars, and all other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Text 7. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything, moving and non-moving, is here in one place. Text 8. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Text 9. Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna. Text 10 to 11. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. Their form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all-expanding. Text 12. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once in the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Text 13. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Text 14. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances, with folded hands, began to pray to the Supreme Lord.
Thank you so much, Krishna. So these 10 verses, Krishna grants Arjuna's wish, shows him his all-encompassing universal form. Now, while God is the source of this universe, he is simultaneously the universe itself, in the sense that he is present within his own creation. Just like in the author's writings, we may be able to understand something about the author themselves. The writings tell us something about the cause. The effect tells us something about the cause. And in that sense, the cause is present within the effect. So in one sense, God is present in this universe because he's the creator. So similarly, yeah, God is the source of the universe, but is simultaneously encompassing the universe. That is the universal form. It's not that God is the sum of the parts, but actually God is everything. Everything is contained within God. So everything is within the Lord. It's not that we put everything together and that's the Lord. Everything's already perfectly within the Lord. In that fearful vision of the universal form, Arjuna could see all living beings, all material objects, and the entirety of past, present, and future. We have to understand this universal form is not present in the spiritual world. It's something that is unique to our world. So it's not an eternal form of the Lord. So that is one of the reasons why this form is not necessarily the worshipable deity, because it's not an eternal form and it changes. Different types of universal forms are shown according to the circumstances. For example, when Mother Yashoda opened the mouth of Krishna when he had eaten some dirt, she had the vision of the universal form, but it was different from what Arjuna saw. So the lesson from this is we should develop this strong desire to have darshan of the Lord, to see the Lord. Through the eyes, we can see the deity form of the Lord. Through our activities, we can feel the presence of God in our seva. Through our meditation, when we chanting, especially Mahamantra, and through our intelligence. How is that? By sharing Krishna with others. So through these different activities, we can have a vision of the Supreme. Okay, now the next one, I think it's quite long. So who would like to read? I think Kishori maybe, and then last lot can be Arav, because I think this is quite a long session now. So go for it, Kishori.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Text 15. Arjuna said, "My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents." Text 16. O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. Text 17. Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, spreading on all sides like blazing fire, or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs. Text 18. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible, and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Text 19. You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Text 20. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Text 21. All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying, "All peace," are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. Text 22. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Satyas, the Vishvadevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Text 23. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. Text 24. O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. Text 25. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions I am bewildered. Text 26 to 27. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also, are rushing into your fearful mouths, and some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. Text 28. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths. Text 29. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths, as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. Text 30. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths. Covering all the universe with your effulgence, you are manifest with terrible, scorching rays. Text 31. O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is.
Thank you. That was a very long session. And Krishna, Arjuna describes the universal form and is petrified by it. He falteringly prays to the universal form. He's awed by greatness of Krishna. He begs forgiveness for having treated him with familiarity and friendship. Actually, that's the next section. He tells him later on that, oh, I'm so sorry I sat with you on your bed and ate with you. Most religious traditions do not go beyond this majestic understanding of God. God is the creator. Like Allah is, God is great. Right? Ishwar means supreme controller. He's all-knowing, omniscient, he's infallible. But that just often creates a fearful exchange with God. He lacks any intimacy or sweetness or any personal relationship with the Lord. And also, you're not going to understand his mission. Actually, God is none of these things. Well, he is these things, but he's much, much more. This is a very tiny fraction of who he is. Because actually, he's sweetness personified. He loves having relationships with his devotees. He's all about loving relationships. When you know somebody is great, you may have some respect for them. You know, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. Fair enough. He's done well. You have some respect. But you can't love someone like that. Just because he's rich, so what? Big deal. But when you see the sweetness of the person, how he deals with others, how he behaves, then you can step by step fall in love with that person. Oh. God is like that. He shows his personality through his transactions with his devotees, especially as Krishna. And when he comes, like 5,000 years ago, when he came to this world, he performed some amazingly sweet pastimes of naughtiness, makhan chor. So many different leelas are there which show what he's like. And then we can fall in love with him. So we should be clear about the mission of God and also our mission. After our mission, after many lifetimes, we finally got a human body. After many, many lifetimes, through different species, plant life, aquatic life, animal life. This human body is rare, it's temporary, can be destroyed at any time. Death can happen at any moment. The association of devotees and the seed of bhakti is rare. Somehow we have these, right? Somehow we've got it. So by some incredibly great fortune. Even just studying this Bhagavad, taking shelter of the Bhagavad Gita is very important. Chanting the holy names of the Lord, doing some seva. Everything else is detail. But due to our impurities, we need to hear over and over again this message. And what's God's mission? God's mission is to take us back to the spiritual world through helping us understand who he is and encouraging us to love him. Not forcing us, but encouraging us. That's his mission. That's why he comes to this world. He wants us to get to know him, because although we have forgotten him, he has not forgotten us. This is really crucial, important, very important. I think there's 2 more sessions. So I'll do one and then somebody else can do the last bit.
Text 32, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am, great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Text 33, therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Text 34. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and all the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Text 35. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He faithfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Text 36. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid, and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Text 37. O great one, greater than the Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you, O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe? You are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Text 38. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above all the material modes. O limitless form, the whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Text 39. You are air, you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again and yet again. Text 40. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Texts 41 to 42. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadav, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relax, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Text 43. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipful chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be with you. Then how could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? Text 44. You are the supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask for your mercy, as a father tolerates the impudence of a son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or the husband the familiarity of his wife. Please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you.
Thank you. Very good. Good reading. There's a little echo from your side, huh? So, but anyway, it's okay. We were able to listen. Now, Krishna says, time I am the great destroyer of the worlds. He advises Arjuna. As time destroys everything. And we know that, right? Time finishes everything. It makes us grow old. It destroys everything in existence. Also, the opposition is already destroyed. Krishna says, just become my instrument. I've already finished that. The work is already done. Just take the credit, become the instrument. Appreciating the Lord's greatness, Arjuna offers his obeisances to the Lord, and he apologizes for his closeness to him. So what is the lesson to learn from this? There's quite a lot of different things mentioned in these sections of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, this bit, verses 32 to 44. The most important thing is this point about time. don't waste time. Because he says, Kalos mi loke shyayarakrit. Time I am, the great destroyer of the world. Now we can waste a lot of time. Right? There are unlimited ways to waste. If we want to waste our time, Krishna will give us unlimited ways to waste our time. TV, one-eyed monster we call it. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Too much news, too much gossip. Favorite way of wasting time. Did you know this person did this? Mobile games, mobile phone games, okay, especially solitaire, such a waste of time. Mundane music, pop music, jazz, classic, social events. Oh, I have to go to this event, that event. Yeah, fair enough. We have social commitments, but we have to understand that we might be wasting our time. And that's fine as well, because it's our time to waste. We're responsible. Nobody else is responsible, as long as we understand that. Reading mundane literatures for leisure and pastime, to pass time. So we try to limit the time that we waste, because time is so valuable. There's nothing more valuable than time. If 1 minute is wasted, you can't go back to Yamraj and say, I'll give you £1 million, give me that 1 minute back. That minute is gone forever. So I'd like to thank you all actually, because you're sparing your valuable time to learn this great conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. How many people are on the course? Very, very few, right? Very, very few. But you've spared that time. Nobody has time nowadays. They're wasting so much time. They don't have any time to really devote to something which is very, very important. So, last bit now. Who would like to read? Any volunteers? How about Kishore or Bharat or Sunil?
I can read it, yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Text 45. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead. O Lord, O abode of the universe. Text 46. O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form with helmeted head and with club, bill, couch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Text 47. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. 48. O best of Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. You, neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances, can I be seen in this form in the material world. Text 49. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances with peaceful mind. You can now see the form you desired. 50. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form, and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Text 51. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, O Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature. Text 52. The Supreme Personality of God had said, my dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are even seeking the opportunity to see this form which is so dear. Text 53. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It's not by these means that one can see me as I am. Text 54. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into mysteries of my understanding. 55. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional services, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kishore. So this is the end of chapter 11, Vishwarup Darshan Yoga. So Arjuna was fearful. He requests Krishna to see his four-handed form, which is the Vishnu form, and then the human-like form of Krishna, around whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, and whose graceful 3-4 bending form attracts the mind of his devotees. So ancient Sanskrit texts describe Krishna as Raso Vaisa, the very embodiment of affectionate relationships, loving relish and transcendental sweetness. This form is difficult to achieve. The two-handed, so the lesson is two-handed, three-bending form of the Lord is the original form of Krishna. It's very, very difficult to have darshan of this form, let alone achieving that form. So we have to understand that God is a person. He's full of color, character, and bliss. He knows how to have a good time. Krishna knew how to have a good time. Is much more interested in relishing the sweetness of pure love than the ritualistic worship of those who approach him in awe and reverence. So Krishna granted him finally the two-handed form and explained to him that this form is very, very difficult to visualize. Even the people, the warriors who were on that battlefield, they didn't actually appreciate the two-handed form of Krishna. So it's a very subtle form, and it is something which is very difficult to perceive and understand. But by the grace of the Lord, it is possible. By his mercy, it's possible to understand, especially when we're going through the Bhagavad Gita and explanations that Krishna is giving, questions that Arjuna is asking. So I wanted to stop there and ask any questions, please. Yes, Ishwari Kishori.
Today we only have 3 questions.
Okay.
Could Sanjaya see the Lord's universal form?
Yes, he definitely could see it. He was given the vision by Vyasdev, his guru, and he could see And many could see on the battlefield, not all. Bhishma could see it, Dronacharya could see it, Yudhishthir and his brothers could see it. Those who were close to the Supreme Lord, they could see it. No, but not everybody was granted that vision.
I see. Thank you. Why did Arjuna see the material bodies of Bhishma, Karna, and all the other warriors going into the cosmic manifestation of the Lord? Why didn't he see the souls of them going into him?
Souls are eternal. They can't be killed, not even by Krishna. But the bodies are temporary. Their body can be destroyed. Body is destroyed. So that's why the bodies went into the cosmic. But the soul is eternal. It never dies. It will continue even after the body is finished, right? So that is the reason the Krishna was showing Arjuna that what you are fearing, you don't have to fear, because I have already conquered everyone. All you have to do is take up the weapon and fire the arrow, because the hard work is already done. I've already done the hard work.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Was that it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Any questions? In fact, you can put up the code for the quiz. But if anybody has any questions, please.
Hi, Prabhuji. I want to say something.
Yes, Mita.
Yeah, as you said, the God doesn't have any form. It is correct. In Govindashtakam, it is said that Satyam Gnanam Anantam Nityam Anakasham Paramakasham Goshta Prangana Rinkana Lola Manayasam Paramayasam Maya Kalpita Nanakaram Anakaram Bhuvanakaram Kshmamanatham Anatham Pranamata Govindam Paramanandam.
Wow.
Because of God's Maya, he is Satyam, Gnanam, Anantam, and he is also Nityam. And he came to play in Govardhanagiri. He is eternal, and he took a form for our blessings. So he one who doesn't have any form, he came onto that to bless us. So whatever the form he has taken, it is only for the human or any living being goodness. So because of this Maya, we can't see he is God, because he has taken a form, and because of that Maya, we can't see his the ultimate Paramatma form of Krishna because of Maya.
But actually, that's not completely correct. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, and also Brahma Samhita, it says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Nadi Radhir Govinda Sarvakarna. Lord Brahma himself says that Ishvara Parama Krishna, your ultimate form is Krishna, Ishwar Parama Krishna. Satchid Ananda Vigraha, that form is Sat, eternal, Chit, full of knowledge, and Ananda, full of happiness. Nadi Radhir Govinda, no cause, Sarva Karana Kanam, cause of all causes is Krishna. So actually, the position is, also in the Bhagavatam it says, Krishna Stu Bhagwan Swayam. Original form of God is Krishna. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamham Jami. So in one sense, what you're saying is that there is a formless aspect of Krishna. That is true. But actually that form, even in the Bhagavad Gita, if you look at chapter 14, which the last verse, Krishna says, Brahmanohi Patistaham, I am the source of the Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti. So he's basically saying that the personal form takes precedence. That's before everything. That is exactly from whom everything comes. And if you look at chapter 12, which is, hey, next week. Oh, fantastic. I really hope you can come next week. Chapter 12.
Yeah.
Because chapter 12, Krishna is asked this question by Arjuna. What is it better, to worship your personal form or your impersonal form? And we'll see
Okay.
what Krishna answers. We'll see.
Okay.
But thank you for raising that point. And I love the way you chanted those the mantras. So very, very sweet. Thank you so much. And you know it by heart, huh?
By heart, yeah.
Fantastic. And what is that? Govinda?
Govindashtakam, written by Shankaracharya. It
Shankaracharya.
has got 8
Right,
verses.
right.
Yeah, Ashtakam, 8 verses.
Well done. I love it. I love it. And I think we have sung this in one of our satsangs. So if I find it, I'll share it on the group.
Oh, sure, no problem. Yeah, I will share it.
Wonderful.
I'll share
Thank
it.
you so much, Mita. I
Thank
really,
you. Thank you.
I love the interaction there. Thank you so much. Really good.
Thank you. It's really
And,
very pleasing. This is the satsangam, and actually, God has said there are 3 ways you can come to moksha. You can attain moksha. One is seeing me as Paramatma, which is very, very difficult. And second one is seeing me and satsanga, going into satsanga, where everybody is worshipping the glory of God. And third one I forgot because recently I was undergoing, Uddhava Gita. I'm listening to those Uddhava Gita, and in that Lord Krishna has said to Uddhava, because when he is leaving, when God is leaving Uddhava, this is the last sentences which God speaks with Uddhava before leaving earth. So then Uddhava was so depressed because God is leaving earth, and what will I do? Then Krishna says, if I'm leaving, then it is not that I'm not here, I am here. And he says so many things to Uddhava. I'm listening to that. So,
that conversation is also recorded in the Srimad Bhagavad Puran. We did about 20, I think not 20, maybe 10 seminars just on the Uddhav Gita. Very powerful, very powerful. Thank you very much for sharing all that. So has everybody joined? Oh, you can share, Ishwari Kishori. And thank you, Ishwari Kishori, for producing the quiz again. Excellent.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for doing such excellent lessons for us to make the quiz on.
Appreciate your feedback. And Pari is not well today, so she hasn't been able to join us. Okay, everybody with us? I think we're missing maybe Kishore, Avi. Charul. Oh, she's there. Okay, you can start.
Chapter 10 is called the blank of the absolute. A, knowledge. B, opulence. C, song. D, dharma. This is a fill in the blank. And the correct answer is opulences. B, opulence. What are some of the themes in this chapter? A, after requested by Arjuna, the Lord explains some of his opulences which are found in this world. B, after Arjuna begs the Lord shows him the secret to learn the art of breakdance. C, because Arjuna is a friend of the Lord, Krishna explains his nature further. Or A and B. This is a multi-select. The answer is A and C. There are blank relations, rasas that one can have with the Lord. 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And the correct answer was 5.
Nobody got that right.
Which of these is not one of the 5 relations you can have with the Lord? Santaras, neutral. Sakyaras, friendship. Muktriras, enemy. Vatsalyaras, parental. Dasyaras, servant. The correct answer is Mrutiras, enemy. True or false? Lord Krishna is unborn and beginningless. And the correct answer is true. Which stage is most essential to spirituality? A, the first stage, knowledge of one's relationship with God and the universe. B, the second stage, the practice and application of such knowledge in one's daily life. C, the third stage, the mature fruit of such practice, which is pure spiritual consciousness and unbounded love of God. Or D, all of the stages.
Excellent question.
The correct answer is D, all of the stages.
I think the screenshot in there.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh.
It just kicked me out of it by itself.
Okay.
Quizzes now has a mind of its own.
That's the first time it's done that, huh?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh no, it's gonna have to start from the beginning.
Oh. You could, I suppose. Everybody will know the answers, hopefully.
Should I
Doesn't-
put up the new?
Everybody will have to join again.
Yeah. This is very annoying. I don't like our internet is stable and everything.
Yeah.
I always check all of this properly before. Very, 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 very sorry.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. It's been amazing so far. So, first time. And you can't skip the question. Oh, maybe we can have next week. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Kishore is right. Let's do it next week. Maybe you can combine the two, chapter 10 and 11.
Yes, Prabhuji. Very,
And we can have a little bit more time. That's fine. I agree with that, actually. I've got another meeting in about 15 minutes, so it's good if we can stop. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Ishwari Kishori. And so sorry that the internet it was playing up a bit, but it's fine. It's fine.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Don't worry about the problem.
Thank you.